Hello, Sanford. You are watching the Coyotes Football Network. I'm Jonathan Weston. Welcome to the Howler. Your Sanford Coyotes have come off of their first win of the season. Man, was it a close one against the Oregon Ducks. A fun one at that with a Jackson Stone game-winning field goal. If you didn't go check that out, well, you should check it out on demand on the Coyotes Football Network website. Well, now that it's week 3, it's another game to talk about as the Coyotes are ranked now, number 22 in the nation, and it feels right that the Coyotes are ranked now after seeing the performance last week. They played a lot better than I think most people thought they were going to. I was worried with a new quarterback coming in. I didn't think the defense was going to play up to their standards with true freshman Keith Darby on the other side of Dustin Jordan. I was skeptical of a lot of things, but they pulled it off. An amazing win. A lot of the fans calling it the best win in school history. We'll see how long that lives up. That's going to be a big thing to watch. But let's talk now about things in the American Conference as Akeem Thompson and Darrell Reese are your players of the week. Reese on offense, Thompson on defense. Both having very nice games for their respective schools, Reese SMU and Thompson for Memphis. Now let's look at the American Conference standings right now, and Sanford right now number 6, but what can you ask for when you've got pretty much a 6-way tie for first place? Nobody has played a conference game yet. It's a lot of 1-0s there at the top of the AAC. But there is only one school in the AAC currently ranked. That is the Sanford College Coyotes. And that's going to be the real question now. Can the Coyotes keep the ranking? We've seen what happened last time they were highly ranked. They floundered and lost that ranking, well, full on. A 3-game losing streak happened. We'll see what happens this time around with that ranking now in tow. As the number 1 team in the nation is still the defending champions, the UCLA Bruins. We'll be seeing them later in the season. That ought to be a fun one. I know a lot of the fans were excited when they saw UCLA on the schedule this year. And that's going to be arguably the most interesting game of the season, but we're not going to talk about that one right now. We'll wait till that time comes. Let's talk about how Sanford kind of can win this ball game against Rutgers. And the key to beating Rutgers, if you ask me at least, is to make sure they can't run the football. I got to see a bit of tape on Rutgers last year, and they are now an option offense. That's going to be a very interesting situation given the way Sanford has played against mobile quarterbacks as of late. You gotta question if this defense can handle it. That's the big question mark, is can this defense handle an option offense and another mobile quarterback? But I guess we really won't find out until game time. That's going to be the key factor in that one. But I will say if the defense can play anywhere close to the way they played last week against the Ducks, they'll be perfectly fine. There are some other fun games to watch this week. You've got the Fighting Illini heading to Houston, the University of Illinois at Houston for that one. Virginia Tech at the University of Central Florida. And one that it may not be a big one to watch, but with Tulane maybe struggling a bit with no Cole Kelly, FCS Northwest will be headed to Tulane. So that's an interesting one. Could be an upset there if you ask me. Now this weekend it is Sanford and Rutgers. Kirk Herbstreit already taking the Coyotes to beat the Scarlet Knights. It's going to be an interesting game to say the least. Now the Scarlet Knights have yet to play a game this year. So there's no tape of what this team can do this year. We only know what they can do last year, and I spoke about it just a little while ago about their new option offense. Excuse me about that, folks. The early morning coffee coming back up there. That's what happens with these live shows. You never know what's going to happen. As let's get back talking about Rutgers here for just a moment. Their option offense is the big question. You don't know what's going to take place. You don't know if they're going to run the football, if they're going to throw the football. And if you have a quarterback that can do both, well, that puts the opposing defense in a very tough situation. And with that, we have to talk about Sanford, both on the offense and defensive side of things. They didn't run the ball a ton last week. And a key component to everything, and this is in my opinion, is John Scott. 2 interceptions in last week's ball game, 1 touchdown. He didn't play his best football, I don't think. We'll see if he can make things better next week. But let's talk now about Rutgers playmakers. Ashton Richwalski. He is the quarterback we're going to have to watch out for. He had 17 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions last year. And when I talk about a guy that can throw and run, Richwalski's the type of guy I'm talking about. He can be a deadly threat if he throws the football enough. Now, I don't see them throwing the football a ton in this one. I see them trying to take advantage of the run game. However, if they do try and throw, it's all on Dallas Williams at wide receiver. His first real year being the number 1 guy now, as Williams only had 1 receiving touchdown last year. He had only 283 total yards. They'll see what they can do to get Williams involved, but he's got a tough test against Dustin Jordan this weekend. So you got to hope for the best for Williams, but I don't think it'll happen. On the defensive side of things, Brian Johnson at left end is the guy to watch out for when it comes to stuffing the run and being able to get to the quarterback every so often. He had 3 sacks last year, and he is a tough guy when it comes to run the football his way. He will bring you down quick, and over that middle linebacker spot, Ty Adams is a guy to watch out for. 2 years ago, had a very solid year. 4.5 sacks, a pick, 40 tackles, 42 assisted. Last year, the injury bug kicked in, and he was unable to play for the year. So, he's looking to bounce back, and that can be arguably the deadliest motivator. At right outside linebacker, you have Demetrius McNamara. Now, McNamara is the leader of this defense. He had 1 interception, 57 assisted tackles, and 42 solo. This guy is a monster. Keep your eyes on 53. He's a guy to watch on that Rutgers defense. And in the secondary, it's Stephon Douglas, the cornerback. He's going to be another guy that really any quarterback has to watch out for. 1 interception taken all the way back for a touchdown. 13 passes deflected. That is the key, though. And conveniently, we'll hop right into John Scott. Those 13 passes deflected can't be a thing. Scott has to make good decisions. He's got to throw the football well, and he's got to find his targets. 75% completion percentage last week. That's the key. He did not miss a lot of his targets. He has to keep doing that, and they'll do perfectly fine. If he can't find Josh Williams, he's got to look for true sophomore Adam Gillette. Gillette looked very good in practice during the offseason from what I saw, and he seems ready to perform. Already 3 catches. I think he's ready to have a big year. On that defensive side, Nathan Newman, the true freshman defensive end, already picked up his first sack of his career, and when he is set free, this man has looked like a monster. So expect Nathan Newman in the rotation to be a heavy hand on that line. And of course, let's talk about the secondary with true freshman Keith Darby, who's expected to have a massive year alongside Dustin Jordan on the other side. So Darby, this guy played solid last week. We'll see what he can do this week against Rutgers. Now, as you folks watch some of the footage from practice earlier this week, let's talk about one thing and one thing only, and that's the future of this team. this team right now ranked 22 in the nation. I would say if Claude Fleming was here, he probably feels they're not ranked high enough. We know how that went last year. But this team feels different. There's a feeling around the school. There's a feeling around the coaching staff. There's just a feeling everywhere here in Sanford that this is a different football team. Now, they've looked different. They didn't run the ball a ton last week. They threw the ball a ton last week. It is a different style of play for this team now with John Scott under center. And I would not at all be surprised to see them continue to be more of a pass-heavy attack. And that might be exactly what wins them ball games. John Scott has looked fairly accurate. He hasn't been up against top-tier defenses yet, other than Oregon, of course, being one. But we've only seen him against one defense. We haven't seen him against Rutgers. We haven't seen him against UCLA. Depending on how he plays there, I mean, this kid may be the answer at quarterback and be the style of quarterback that everyone thought Sanford was getting when he committed 2 years ago as a JUNCO. It's a very interesting situation with John Scott, and I think most fans are excited to see what this young man has to offer as the season goes on. I brought it up at the end of last week's ball game that I hope the interception situation tones down as the season goes on. I think it will, as he gets more use to his fellow receivers as well as the play of his offensive line. So a lot of bright things I see in the future of this Sanford team. I'm not going to say it now. I'm not going to pull a Rex Ryan or even a Claude Fleming situation and say this team is a national championship contender. I don't want to say that because we don't know what could happen this year. But I think there is a lot to say about this team, and I think there's a bright future ahead of them. As we will see you folks this weekend, as it is all the time we've got for this edition of the Howler. It is Sanford hosting Rutgers in the home opener this year. Oh, get ready to defend the den. Hello, Sanford. You are watching the Coyotes Football Network. I'm Jonathan West, and it is time to hashtag defend the den as your Sanford College Coyotes are playing their home opener of the new season against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Well, they're 1-0, and they got a big victory last week over the Oregon Ducks. So the Coyotes are feeling very good coming in ranked number 22 in the nation. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights have yet to play a game, so they got to really figure themselves out this week. I don't know if it's the best time for the Knights to be here in Sanford with a very raucous crowd, as they are hyped for this one, as well as a team that I think is really, really jazzed up for this ball game in front of their home crowd. So we'll see if the Coyotes can keep the momentum going and keep the early season success on their side against a team personally I think they should beat, as Jackson Stone kicks us away. And that one is too far back to return, as Rutgers will just take a knee, and that's how we begin. First and 10 here under center is Richwalski, and he'll take off on an option, and that's going to be a gain of 3 for Richwalski. We're going to see a lot of this running game, I've got a feeling, from the Knights. We'll see how they do with it as they go option again. There's the pitch to Reed this time around, and he's taken out of bounds after a gain of 6 by Daniel Clemens. Defense chants are loud here on 3rd and 1. Let's see if it works out. Richwalski pitches it off to Brian Bullock, and that's going to be enough for the first down. A gain of 11. The defense chance didn't work out to really get things going. First and 10. Richwalski taking it again on an option, but he's dragged down quick that time. Dylan Trevor, the hometown boy, making the play on Richwalski. 2nd and 10 now. Ashton Rishwalski under center, going to take an option again, pitches it out to Jack Reed. That's a 7-yard gain. Sets him up for a manageable 3rd and 4. It is nice to not have to worry about calling some no huddle this week now. As Rishwalski to throw connects with Simmons, and it's a 9-yard gain, enough for the first. Sanford brought the house, and Rutgers took advantage of it with a quick slant across the middle. 1st and 10 now for Rishwalski, as he's going option again, taking off, and he's dragged down though quickly. That was Dustin Jordan, and wait a minute, folks. Rishwalski's down. Well, in comes Jorge Hester. It is not a good thing for the Scarlet Knights to see Rishwalski go down, but now Hester has to take over, and he will find 7 on that keeper, as that's going to bring up 3rd and 1. Another 3rd and 1 situation is Hester on the run, and he'll find enough. 3-yard run and a 1st down. Rutgers taking a lot of time off the clock here to begin things. As it's another 1st and 10, and it looks like the play really broke there. I don't think anybody knew what they needed to get done, as Jorge Hester kind of froze, and that allowed Faraday to come through for the sack. First sack of the day by Shea Faraday. 2nd and 10 now, as Jorge Hester once again under center. The Knights taking their time as Bullock was the man in motion. That is Townsend. And John Townsend with an 8-yard gain, setting up another manageable 3rd down situation. 3rd and 3, as we're nearly at the 4-minute point here in this first quarter. 3-yard run from David Page gets him a 1st down. 1st and 10, Hester on the run again, and he's going to find more room. A gain of 6 brought down by Sam Williams. Sanford just cannot stop them from gaining yards at this point. 2nd and 4, Hester on the run. He was able to outwit, I believe that was Adam Woods, the true freshman linebacker, and he's going to nearly get enough for the 1st. It'll be 3rd and inches. 3rd and inches, Bullock in motion. Hester on the run. But wait a minute. He still fights for enough. You have got to be kidding me. I thought they had him behind the line that time. It's 1st and goal. Hester on the run. There we go. Justin Moss shuts down Hester. And that got the crowd going again here now, as Hester on the run. It's going to be a gain of around 2, 3rd and goal. This defense can hold them. Bend but don't break, boys. 3rd and goal. This crowd is focused as the defense lets up David Page for the touchdown. Well, that's what the option offense can do to you. It runs you down, it tires you out. And, well, it led to a Rutgers touchdown. As John Scott and company come out for the first Sanford drive of the day, and a short pass to Garrett Theory to start things. Only a gain of 2. As Scott now goes to the ground for Joe Baker. A 5-yard gain. And that'll bring up 3rd and 3 coming up now. 3rd and 3 in the shotgun. Scott setting up the screen, and they got room to run. Baker 1st down, and that's going to be a new set of downs as the Sanford Coyotes continue this drive. It's 1st and 10, and we are nearly out of the first quarter, folks. It's been a quick one here as Scott throws, connects with Patrick Jackson on the sideline. He kept 1 foot in bounds, and it's a big 12-yard 1st down. 1st and 10, pitch goes out to Baker. He gets a block, cuts up field a bit, and that's a nice 1st down, 14-yard run. Sanford is feeling it here as that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Rutgers is up early 7-0, but the Coyotes are feeling it on their first drive. We'll be back with more here on the Coyotes Football Network. Welcome back, everyone, to the Coyotes Football Network. I'm Jonathan West, and John Scott hands off to Tom Joseph to get this second quarter underway. It's a 9-yard gain for the more workhorse-style back. 2nd and 1. Scott dropping back. He's looking to throw, can't find anybody. Tries to get Williams, but Poland takes it away. That's the last thing we needed to see as Poland goes up, and I believe Scott thought he had it over him. I thought he did too. Williams wide open, but Poland just puts his hands up, jumps a bit, and able to take that one away. So Rutgers takes over. Hester on the run, and he's going to gain yards. It's a 9-yard gain as he is dragged down by Scott Boyd. 2nd and 1 as Rutgers is looking to do some serious damage now. Play action, though, doesn't work out. Down goes Hester. Dylan Trevor on the sack, his first of the year. Great job. That is a phenomenal play by Dylan Trevor to get the hit in on Hester. 3rd and 6 now. As Hester goes play action again. That's a short pass to Jack Reed, and he's not going to get enough for the first. 4th and 4 coming up. The offense for Rutgers still out on the field. This could be a big mistake as Hester throws. He finds John Townsend. It's enough for the first down into the red zone. Goes Rutgers. A 19-yard gain. And a big let up by the Sanford defense. That's a tough one. That is a tough one to take, as they are just a yard away from the red zone now. Hester on the run. A big hit there. But he will gain one, and that is going to put them right at the 20. Dustin Jordan was the man on the hit. 2nd and 9. Hester taking off but not going anywhere. Brought down by Keith Darby, the young cornerback, making a big hit behind the line. A loss of 2 for Jorge Hester today. 3rd and 11, big defensive situation here for Sanford. Hester drops back. He's looking to throw towards the sideline. Taking away Sam Williams. Pete Poland got a pick while Sam Williams does the same. A great play by Williams, who is playing that slot cornerback spot, and a phenomenal way to keep both feet in bounds. As now, play action by John Scott on 1st down. He finds Garrett Theory. The junior connects with a freshman, 21-yard completion, and that's a great way to start this drive. They need big plays. They need to find the open men, and they need to get downfield. 1st and 10 now for Scott under center. He'll hand off to Joe Baker. He finds some room. Not a ton, but he will gain 6 on that run. 2nd and 4 as Scott is under center again. He'll go back to the ground with Tom Joseph, who just sheds some tackles. And right up the middle for a gain of 8. A new set of downs for the Coyotes. As it is 1st and 10. Collins in the game. And Collins going up the gut. He'll find 6 yards. Another nice run. They're trying to wear down this Rutgers defense, and I think it's working. 2nd and 4. Scott dropping back. He's rolling right. Throws to Baker on the run, and that's a big hit to Joe. He'll only gain about half a yard. 3rd and 4 as Scott throws. He connects with Patrick Jackson. 15 yards and a big first down. They get out of bounds to stop the clock. Not really a necessity, but nonetheless, it puts them near the red zone now. As Scott goes play action here. Off play action, connects with Garrett Theory. He had to alligator arm it a bit, but nonetheless, it is a big first down. 22-yard connection, I believe, on that one. 1st and goal. Scott to throw, but pressure got there quick as he just got it out of his hands. Luckily falls incomplete. Second and goal now. Scott dropping back. Rolling out a bit. Throws to Baker in the end zone. Touchdown, Sanford. A 7-yard connection ends in a touchdown, as the Coyotes are now tied up with Rutgers. Jorge Hester to throw here as they're looking for points before half, it looks like, but Rutgers not able to get anything there as it's dropped by Townsend. Second and 10 is Hester under center. He'll drop back again, connects short to Williams, but he finds room on that screen, and that's going to be enough for the first. Dallas Williams with 13 yards on his first catch. First and 10 with just above a minute, but there is a flag flying in. It's going to be a false start, bringing Rutgers back 5 yards. That is not what the Scarlet Knights needed after a big play from Williams. First and 15 now, as Hester looking to throw. They're setting up the screen for Townsend, but that didn't work. That's Justin Moss causing chaos, a loss of 2. Second and 17. Reed, the man in motion. Hester drops back. Going deep downfield. Darby in coverage, and it was nearly taken away by Pat Riley on the ricochet. Third and 17, and the defense chants are coming in loud and proud as the defense works out. That's Justin Moss on the sack. Big play by the defense as Sanford defensively just controlled that drive. They let up one first down screen, and that was it. A great drive by the defense there. 57 seconds left between us and the half, as Sanford now takes over. 35 seconds left. They do have 2 timeouts as Joe Baker gains 10 on that carry. They're just trying to get in the field goal range, it looks like. Second and inches. Scott looking to throw now. He connects with Josh Williams. It's a 15-yard connection. Enough for a big first down, and they are definitely in Jackson Stone field goal range. First and 10, play action here as Scott goes down, unable to get the ball out of his hands in time. That is McNamara on the sack. Second and 19 as they took their last time out. Sanford looking for the big play, but it's taken away by Douglas. We brought him up in the howler. He's the top corner on Rutgers defense, but Stephon Douglas takes away the ball right before halftime. 9-second stand within Rutgers and half. Well, between us and half, I should say. As Williams with a catch over the middle. That is a 17-yard reception as Jorge Hester trying to get them in scoring position again. 5 seconds left. They're just going to take a shot downfield. Indeed, they will, as that one is deflected. Daniel Clemens, the man on coverage. And that will take us to halftime. It's all tied up at 7 apiece. It's a tight one here in Sanford. We'll have more here on the Coyotes Football Network. Your second half is just beginning here, folks, in Sanford as the Coyotes begin with the football. As Scott, right off the bat, finds Taylor Moore, and guess who's in Rutgers territory? 21-yard connection from Scott to Taylor Moore. The first touchdown of his career last year came to Taylor Moore, who collected his first receiving touchdown of his career. So a fun little factoid there for you folks. As first and 10, they go Joe Baker, and Baker fighting. A nice run up the gut. Gain of 11 and a new set of downs. First and 10 for Scott and company as Baker takes the handoff again, and he finds some more yardage. A nice 9-yard gain. This defense, I think, is iffy on if they're going to throw or run at this point. Second and 1, they hand off out of the shotgun, and it's enough for the first down. Baker gains 4 on that run. First and 10, and look who's in. Tyrese Baker. They like their option with him, but look at Tom Joseph. What a run, but there is some laundry on the field. And it's going to be coming back. You have got to be kidding me. After a play like that, Patrick Jackson with a 15-yard clipping penalty. And Coach Wolf arguing on the sidelines, but it's not going to make any difference. First and 11 now as Scott connects with Joseph. He breaks off one tackle, shrugs off another, and a 21-yard gain. The clipping penalty didn't matter. They're right back where they would have been. First and goal from about the 3 as a great catch and run there by Tom Joseph. What a play to answer the penalty. First and goal now as it's going to be play action by Scott. He'll connect with Collins in the end zone. Touchdown, Sanford. The Coyotes take their first lead of the day, and Chad Collins collects his first career touchdown, this one being receiving. So a big play there. The Coyotes now on top for the first time today here at home. First and 10, Jorge Hester is going to be in the ballgame the whole time, as it is a big injury to Rich Wolski, as Scott Boyd brings down Brian Bullock hard for a loss of 2. Second and 12 as Jorge Hester looks to run again, and that's going to be a 3-yard gain. Third and 9 though coming up. This is a long situation. Third and 9 with defense chance coming in loud and proud. Hester throwing, and with a step was his target, but just overthrew him. Well, now Coyotes with great field position in midfield. Scott looks to throw. He connects with Theory. What a tight window. A great throw from Scott. This is what you expect out of a quarterback who in high school was kind of called the Peyton Manning of his team with the way he led his teammates. As what a play. The handoff now to Joseph. And it's going to be a gain of 8 on that carry. He's had a very solid day so far. Second and 2. They go to Joe Baker now, but Baker is caught. And that's going to be a loss of 3 on that tackle. A very slow start to the year for Joe Baker. We haven't seen that big play potential that much. Third and 5 now. Williams the man in motion. As they look to throw. Scott to the sideline. It's Theory. First down, 18 yards. Another phenomenal pass. Puts that ball right on the money, and Theory able to keep 2 feet in bounds. First and goal for Scott. As they look to throw again, it's Theory, and the tight end gets what he deserves after a phenomenal drive from mainly Scott and Theory. It ends in a Garrett Theory touchdown, the first of his career. It's just a first for everyone here today at home, as Sanford now takes a 2-possession lead. The Coyotes rightfully on top, and this defense ready to attack as Townsend runs right into Justin Moss, and he went nowhere but back for a loss of 2. Second and 12 now as Jorge Hester in the shotgun. He's looking to throw. Connects with Brian Bullock? I don't think so. That's Dylan Trevor who is ready for him. Third and 10 now in the pistol. Hester looks to throw. Trying to find his man downfield. Double coverage. Nearly taken away. Daniel Clemens and Dustin Jordan with good coverage. First and 10 now for Sanford. They're looking to continue to throw, as that was a risky pass over the middle to Josh Williams. A gain of 3 off the Williams reception. As they go to the ground now with Joe Baker, it'll be a gain of 6. As Baker needs to start really getting back into the mojo here. He does have a nice 6.9 yards per carry though. It's third and 1. They go Tom Joseph, and he bulldozes a defender. A 6-yard gain, and the Coyotes continue to drive. That play, though, will take us to the end of the third quarter. Sanford on top, 21-7. Rutgers having a hard time now. We'll be back for the fourth quarter here on the Coyotes Football Network. Welcome back, everyone, to the Coyotes Football Network. Sanford starting off the fourth quarter with a 2-possession lead, and they go to the screen as Joe Baker stays in bounds. A 5-yard gain on that one. So nonetheless a gain. So it's easy to feel good about it. Second and 5. Scott to throw. Goes downfield. Williams wide open. Touchdown Sanford. He went right by the secondary. And that is what John Scott can do, folks. 4 touchdowns today and a deep one to Josh Williams. First and 10 now as Hester looks to throw and nearly taken away. Great coverage by Sam Williams. Second and 10. Williams almost getting his second pick on that last play. Hester throws again, and once again good coverage. This time it's Keith Darby with the great man coverage. Third and 10. Hester's got to make something happen. Over the middle, and Townsend can't haul it in. Incomplete. So it looks like fourth down here. They're just going to punt it away. As Sanford with great field position. As Joe Baker on the run gains 4 on that one. And you think they're just going to run the clock at this point. Second and 6. Scott goes to Baker on the ground, and he fights for enough for the first down. That'll take Sanford over 100 yards today. First and 10. It's Tyrese Baker in the ball game, and he's off play action nearly into the hands of Pete Poland. That was almost the second interception Poland's had today. Second and 10. Scott out of the I-form, hands off to Collins. He's got running room after a great block by Charles Gutierrez. Down to the 10, 30-yard run by the optometrist, as they like to call him. What a play. Chad Collins showing the speed he's got as a big guy. First and goal now. Scott to throw, connects with Williams, and just inches short of another touchdown. Inches away. Second and goal from the 1. Scott hands off to Baker. He's in the end zone. Well, that is easily the nail in the coffin. 100%. As Sanford has put it away for Rutgers. With under 5 minutes left, Hester looks to throw. He's going deep downfield, and Darby with a nice deflection. Even tried to get the pick off the rebound there. Second and 10. Under center is Hester. He'll drop back, throw to Williams over the middle, and that will be close to a first down. They'll call him inches short. So 3rd and inches. Rutgers could continue this drive if they get this first down. Hester going to take it himself, pitches it off to Jack Reed, and that will be a first down and plenty more. 11 yards and a first down for the Scarlet Knights. First and 10. Under center is Hester. He's going to drop back. Looking to throw. He connects with John Townsend, brought down by Matthew Fowler. A gain of 6 on that one, and Hester had to throw that one real quick or he was a dead man. Second and 4. Hester dropping back again to the sideline and out of bounds. Bring up 3rd and 4. Why don't you? 3rd and 4. What can they do? Hester drops back over the middle. Connects with Cunningham. His first catch of the day. And a big one, 23 yards. That is a great throw against Adam Woods at right outside linebacker, or I'm sorry, left outside linebacker, the true freshman. A great play by Jorge Hester as he drops back here on first down, looking to throw again, but once again too far to the sideline, and that one goes incomplete. 2nd and 10, just under 3.5 remain. Hester to run, pitches it to Reed as he's slowed down by Riley and corralled by a number of Coyotes. Only a 2-yard gain for Reed there as 3rd and 8. Hester dropping back, looking to throw. Checks down to Brian Bullock. He's dropped immediately. That is Sam Williams again. Well, this is the game, I'd say, for Rutgers. 4th and 8. Hester to throw. Can't connect with Reed as it bounces off his hands. Turnover on downs. Coyotes just have to run the clock now. He's got hands off to Baker, but he takes a shot. What a hit by Pete Poland. He's unhappy. As Tom Joseph gets the handoff, and it's only going to go for a gain of 3. Just under 2 minutes remain. 1 first down into the ballgame, folks. 3rd and 8. Play action. Scott looking to throw, but he'll go down. It is a sack. They wanted to end the ballgame, it looked like, with a throw and a first down. Sadly, no one open. Good defensive coverage by Rutgers. So it's 1st and 10 for Rutgers with 37 seconds left. They have a chance to maybe make it look a little closer as Williams can't haul that one in off his helmet after it bounced off his hands. 2nd and 10. Bullock the man in motion. His handoff goes to Townsend, but he is bottled up quickly. Only a gain of 3. Fowler was the first man in there. 3rd and 7 as Rutgers took their first time out. Hester to throw. Out of bounds. 4th and 7 coming up. As they decided to punt, it was all over from there. Your player of the game, folks, John Scott. He threw 2 interceptions in the first half. In the second half, nothing but touchdowns. What a bounce back half for John Scott. He played exceptionally well in that second half, bounced back from the 2 interceptions, and he is really showcasing himself as an elite quarterback here for Sanford. This passing offense is officially deadly, and that throw to Josh Williams, we haven't had that at Sanford since its creation. What an amazing showcase by the young quarterback. Absolutely amazing. And this defense played quite well once Rich Walski left the game. Sanford wins 37-7 and takes their first win here at home. I've been Jonathan West. You've been watching the Coyotes Football Network. We will see you folks next week.